Women candidates have been pulled by their hair yesterday in the counting stations and thrown out. And not to your lordship's surprise, who were helping in doing all this? The police. The police threw them out of the counting stations and said, you all are not required. So that Dorka nahi paliye ijazat. Get out. You are not required to be here. The simple thing is, why is this election required then? Trinamool is in power already. You are already giving sufferings to the people. Why more sufferings? We will not vote. With folded hands, we say we will not vote, but allow us to live. Your Lordship, my petition deals with the entire process of counting, which took place yesterday, and the post-poll violence, which is continuing. On page 4, Your Lordships, I have mentioned the incidents, a few incidents, because the petition was filed yesterday in the afternoon. So whatever data I got, that is there. Apart from that, Your Lordship, I will mention this, that through social media, I had circulated an email ID to people of Bengal, requesting them to come with their complaints on that email ID. Since yesterday night, I have received more than 250 emails. Now, Lordships will also see that this election is a Gram Panchayat election, where people are not very hybrid. They are not used to the email process. Even then, 250 complaints are there since yesterday. Now, Your Lordship, if Your Lordship comes to page 4 of my petition.
Yes.
Paragraph 4, I'm just going to the A part and reading that, Your Lordship.
Yes.
In the district of South 24 Parganas, counting halls at Honarable, Vishnupur, Diamond Harbour have been compromised and election agents of the opposition parties have been beaten, thrown out. There are names of 2 people who are the counting agents. Their medical reports are attested in my petition. More than 20 people from this particular counting area were admitted yesterday at NRS. I can give the medical report of all. Few are attested here. The next incident. Jaipur 2, Amta, Panchla, Havra blocks, Dhania Khali, Jangipada in Hugli, Shantipur in Nadia, Tejpur. I have immense evidence which I can prove. Then the next is at Jakcha. Thereafter at Ketugram. Lordship, I'm just mentioning the names because evidences are there with me. And if Your Lordship says on affidavit, I can produce the candidates, and not just from one political party, from various political parties, the opposition candidates can come and file their affidavits. Now the difficulty is, Your Lordships, continuous violence took place. People were killed. They were thrown out of their houses. Similar thing is happening today. In the complaints which I have received, people are crying. They are saying that the usual practice of Bengal, which is there, that if you have lost the election, you can't go back to your house. They attack your house. They take over the possession of your house. Your shops are destroyed. You have to flee from that village. You cannot enter back. Now, the blame game on the last occasion, when I came before Your Lordships, I said that who will take the blame? State government will say, the law and order is not in our hand. It is in the hand of State Election Commission. Where will these people go to file their complaints? Police useless. It has already been proved. There's no point going to the DG. So in 2021, a committee was formed. Under Your Lordship's guidance, it was the state legislative SLSA. So here the people came, they gave their complaints. Based on those complaints, Your Lordship saw that everything was true. And they were the police was ordered, the DG was ordered to get these people back to their houses. Similar is the situation now. There has to be the SLS's interference where these people can go and file their complaints. Because I coming every day with 500 or 200 complaints will not solve the problem, because this is entire Bengal's problem now. There are videos, Your Lordships, and this is not that I'm speaking at large or at length. The facts, only the facts. Women candidates have been pulled by their hair yesterday in the counting stations and thrown out. And not to Your Lordship's surprise, who were helping in doing all this? The police. The police threw them out of the counting stations and said, you all are not required. So that Dorka nahi paliye ijazat. Get out. You are not required to be here. Then what is the point of counting? One particular incident, since I appear in person, I would like to mention this, that yesterday at 6 o'clock, I was called by the locals from Dhulagarh. There is a counting station called CCOM College. They told me that police has thrown all the opposition out. None of us are here. But the MLA, Priya Pal, from the ruling Trinamool Congress, she was inside. She took out the ballots where in the first round, she saw when people were inside, she saw that they are losing. Thereafter, she threw them out. She took out the ballot. She ate it with a bottle of water. So hungry they are. Not that. Thereafter, nobody was allowed. So the counting had stopped. Then when people called me, I continuously did all my effort to speak to the CAPF, to speak to the police. The Commissioner of Police, Praveen Tripathi, did not answer the call. I took, with my, whatever your lordship says, with my courage, I went there, was surrounded by 4,000 people hailing Trinamool with all that green color on their face. They surrounded me. I have a security personnel with me. He informed the central forces that anything can happen here. Please do something. After 20 minutes, the CAPF, RPF people came. They entered the polling station. Thereafter, few agents, because by the time everybody fearing for their life, they had left the place. They entered inside. Thereafter, the counting started. Whole night, the counting continued. But what is the point? The agents, they could not participate in the process. And by that time, everything was over. Your lordships, I will not go more on it. The simple thing is, why is this election required then? Trinamool is in power already. You are already giving sufferings to the people. Why more sufferings? I, being a citizen of this country, and in Bengal and others too, we have a right to live. We have a right to live. We give up our right to vote. We will not vote. With folded hands, we say we will not vote, but allow us to live.
Yes, my lord. In my affidavit, my lord, I have also taken this point, my lord, post-poll violence, my lord, in my affidavit.
Yes.
My lord,
19. Para 19.
para 19, my lord, just look out, post-poll violence. I say after the declaration of election result and ruling party supporters have started violence right from the counting centers and are threatening the opposite party supporters to setting their houses at fire and to oust them from their respective dwelling houses. In this connection, Election Commission may be directed to ensure peaceful and smooth leading of life to each and every person and to direct Election Commission to stop violence either by hook or crook. And my lord, 20, my lord, the writ petition. 22, my lord, repolling. My lord, I submit that the supplementary affidavit may be treated as a part of the main writ petition. To repoll panchayat election, 50,000 booths in West Bengal, my lord. Repolling is very much needed because, my lord, if the panchayat vote is a constitutional process, it comes after every 5 years, then, my lord, the mandate, the people who went to vote there my lord, it is also the constitutional process. And, my lord, one constitutional process cannot be stalled for other constitutional process, my lord. That is my findings. And, my lord,
Things I want to say.
School, my lord, few schools, they have been ransacked, my lord. Schools, and the schools have been, my lord, destroyed.
That you have said in page.
I have said.
50.
We need
Just in continuation of what I was
compensation.
what I was praying for by way of interim relief, just 2-3 other things, my lords. Many more horrendous things are being said. I understand today it's been reported that even some central forces have been impersonated by people and they have gone and stood there as though they are central forces. This kind of a thing has been going on. I think, my lords, in the fitness of things, there has to be some kind of a scrutiny or forensic audit of ballot papers, CCTV footages, and the videographs. And one more thing, my lords, again, an earnest submission for my lord's consideration. I think we have crossed the stage of merely reports from the SEC. I think someone has to take personal responsibility. Please call upon the SEC to be available to my lords and give answers. Because I would respectfully submit, my lords, the nature of the problem which has occurred now is now something which is very serious. And this is notwithstanding orders of court. I would respectfully submit, my lords, that has become.
FIR should be lodged against the, my lord, Election Commission itself also, against him and his men and agents. Why not, my lord? If the deaths have been happened, my lord, because the Election Commissioner is the powerful authority at the time of election and at the time of counting. If the deaths, he should be responsible, my lord, and his men and agents. So I have taken this point also, my lord.